Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about night eating. In our modern world, with electricity and an abundance of processed food, this has become a serious problem for our waistline and our self esteem. But before I get started, I want you to imagine a situation with me. You can close your eyes if you want. Imagine you are trapped on a desert island with your family. The only foods available are fruit, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. There is an abundant supply of these foods, but nothing else. Do you think you would have a weight problem? Would you feel compelled to eat all night? Would you be addicted to apples to the point that it would affect your mental health with obsession? Of course not. Correcting a behavior like night eating deals with both physiological and psychological factors. The key physiological factors we are dealing with are blood sugar regulation and circadian rhythm disruption. Correcting a behavior like night eating deals with both physiological and psychological factors. The key physiological factors we are dealing with are blood sugar regulation and circadian rhythm disruption. It is important to eat a clean diet at the proper times of day to rebalance them. This will help you stabilize the physical causes that are making you eat. For example, out of whack blood sugar levels. And developing new healthy habits helps you tackle the psychological factors. Healthy lifestyle changes help you deal with problems in a positive, life-affirming way. So I am briefly going to cover some things you can implement today to battle your night eating patterns. To get more in depth, go to my website and you can get the complete 6-page printable version of my top tips to night eating. Okay, we want to get back into the habit of eating 3 meals a day. And you might not think so, but stopping night eating starts with breakfast. As a rule, night eaters aren't hungry in the morning. They wake up and their stomachs are probably a little bit full or bloated from the night before. So they push off eating until later in the day, and they spend their mornings running on coffee or some other caffeinated drink. And then they get so hungry, they'll eat almost anything and everything. So start with eating 3 meals a day at normal meal times for your schedule. Oh yeah, and no snacking. Okay, you can get away with eating your 3 meals a day at the regular meal times and eat enough at each meal and give your stomach a chance to get rid of the food before you start piling more food in. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is how to stabilize your blood sugar. You can stabilize your blood sugar with fiber-rich, water-filled foods. And what foods are those, you may ask? Well, the same 4 food groups I promote in my book: fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. They are all loaded with fiber and water, which guarantees a slow release of glucose into your bloodstream, which prevents big rises and big falls. So there's no food cravings stemming from big dips and spikes in blood sugar. Animal protein and oils contain no fiber, and processed foods have been stripped of most of their fiber and water. Think of a rice cracker or just a cracker in general. There's no water in that, and the flour has been ground down, so there's just no fiber left in it either. So fiber and water are essential to stabilize blood sugar, and the most important thing if you want to lose weight. Okay, after dinner, stay away from sweet desserts and baked goods. Opt for fresh fruit instead. They are loaded with fiber. Uh, and eat starchy vegetables and whole grains or beans at every meal. And dinner, make sure you have potatoes. Potatoes are the most satiating food and will keep you feeling full longer. That'll stop you from reaching for something else. If you're not hungry, you're not going to want to be reaching for anything else. I've found that out. If you eat to satisfaction and you eat the right foods, you can go all night without having to eat again. Okay, I want you to go 3 hours without food before bedtime. So after you eat, you're going to have there's going to be no more eating until you go to bed 3 hours later. These 3 hours are important to move the food from the stomach into the small intestine. And it's particularly important for those people that suffer from acid reflux because it gives the food an opportunity to leave the stomach and it won't be backing up on you at night. Okay. Ingested food can remain in your stomach for 2 to 5 hours. And this depends on the amount of food, the acid pH of the food, and the amount of fat in the food, because higher fat foods stay in your stomach longer. Okay. So, and also it depends on the amount of stomach acid you have in your stomach to break it down. So imagine your stomach is a washing machine. All right. If you fill it with laundry, okay, and if you overfill it, it's going to take longer to clean all the clothes, right? And if you say, imagine you put in your laundry and the machine is running, and then you start throwing in the odd dirty sock or pair of underwear or whatever into the washing machines, that sock and that underwear is going to take a lot longer to clean than the clothes that are already in it. So that shows you, like with stomach emptying, if you keep on like snacking while your stomach's still working to break down the stuff that's there, it's going to just take longer and longer because you're prolonging the process. The washing machine is running all night. Okay, so again, it depends on 3 factors: the amount of food you're eating, the acid pH of the food, and the amount of fat in the food. Higher fat foods spend more time in the stomach. So it is in your best interest to stop eating 3 hours before bedtime. This at least gives your body a fighting chance to get some of the food out of the stomach before you go to bed. If 3 hours seems overwhelming at first, start with 1 hour before bedtime for week number 1, and then 2 hours for week number 2, and then 3 hours for week number 3. And then you start getting into a pattern of not eating before bed. And one last thing, you can't stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning to get that last snack in at midnight. Okay. I want you to eat at your regular scheduled times, your regular dinner time, and then stop eating. And now I'm going to show you some tricks on how to do that. So what to do after dinner? Okay, so you need to develop some new habits that will keep you from going back for more food. Here are some tips that others have found useful. And I have some more in that article, okay? But these are the basics, okay? So after dinner, clean the kitchen, wash the dishes and wipe down the counters. And then the kitchen is closed for the night, okay? So you won't be tempted with things that are out on the counter. This is important, okay? If you can't see it, you won't want it. Brush and floss your teeth straight away. This cleans your mouth and your palate. And then you're not so tempted to go and get something else. You know how if you have a food that tastes like more, well, you're getting rid of that taste. So this works quite well. Okay. People eat at night for various psychological reasons. If you eat because you're bored, start reading in bed. Read fiction in a genre that you enjoy. For example, I love those cozy mysteries. I get all caught up in it. As long as I don't focus on the food that they're eating, I'm okay. Okay, if you eat because you're lonely, make a point of calling a friend or a family member for a chat. Or again, read a book with characters that you enjoy. If you eat because you're stressed, give up caffeine products. According to Dr. Alan Goldhammer, caffeine can stay in your body for like 17 hours. So that's well past your bedtime. So you got to give up the coffee, the caffeinated drinks of all kinds, energy drinks, chocolate, whatever. Give it up, and it will help to relieve your stress. And if you want to know more about decreasing your stress levels, check out my YouTube on chronic stress busters. Okay. And also consider maybe making some herbal teas like chamomile, which are especially good in the evening to help your brain wind down for sleep. Okay, get rid of all snack foods that contain sugar, oil, and salt. They're highly addictive, they're expensive, and they always taste like more. A smoker doesn't start off smoking 2 packs a day, and an alcoholic doesn't start off with a bottle of vodka a day either. But over time, to get the same good feeling, the drug compels you to take more of it. And with food, you end up with a visible byproduct, obesity. The only reason you should be eating is for true hunger. If you're only hungry for special foods, that is not real hunger. You are addicted to that food. For more on understanding food addiction, watch Dr. Doug Lau's video, The Pleasure Trap, which you can watch right here on YouTube, or go to Dr. Lau's website, Esteem Dynamics, and he has lots of free videos in his public library. Finally, conduct an experiment. Give these few techniques a try for 10 days and give it 100% of your effort. So eat 3 meals a day, no snacking, eat until you're full, make sure you have lots of wet starches for dinner. It will keep you full longer. Eat whole foods rich in fiber and water, and stay away from processed foods that will spike your blood sugar. All junk foods containing sugar, oil, and salt are off limits for 10 days. Also stay away from dried fruits and fruit juices, but please enjoy beautiful whole fruits for your sweet cravings. Don't eat for 3 hours before bed. Distract yourself using some of the techniques I've mentioned here or in my article that's online. Use a check sheet to help you along, like the target sheets I use in my book, Break the Cycle and Healthy Weight Loss Workbook. If you can do this for 10 days in a row and do an excellent job, you will feel so much better about yourself mentally and physically. Okay, that's it for today. If you need more help with this topic, go to my website. I have a pop-up there with 6 pages of my top tips to help you deal with night eating. Also consider getting my book or taking one of my challenges. Okay, so please like and subscribe and keep your eyes peeled for next week when we're going to talk about why fiber is so important for weight loss. Thanks for watching.